Hey guys, it's Leo with Dreaming Tree, and in this video we're going to put together our Valentine Twist Pop card. And it's a very simple card to put together. It's got that amazing wow factor that your recipient is going to love. And I have all of the pieces necessary here in front of me, so let's go ahead and begin with our assembly. And actually, before we get started on the actual card, why don't we just put together the envelope so I don't forget, because sometimes I'll put everything together and then forget about the envelope. So here's the main structure for the envelope, and what we're going to do is we're going to take and fold everything at the score marks, and I'm also going to fold this piece here. And what we're going to do, let me move these pieces out of the way, is we're going to put glue on this tab here and glue this to the main structure of the envelope, like so. Just make sure you get it nice and aligned, and then just push that tab over, and then you can flip it over this way and glue that down like so. And we have this piece, this little accent piece, that gets glued on like this. You want to make sure that it's nice and flush against the sides so that just this little accent shows. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put glue around the perimeter here. All along the inside. And just kind of line that up and then push it down. And before it sets, you can kind of take a look at it from this angle here, just to make sure you've got everything in the right place. Okay, and then on top of it here, you're going to glue this heart right there. We've got a series of little score marks there to help you with the placement. Okay, so these hearts go here. Okay, so get those glued into place. Okay, and then what I like to do is I always like to kind of anchor things. So we are going to put glue on this tab here. Okay, and just get that lined up like so. And push that tab down. Give it a second to set, and then we can flip it over. Make sure that we've got a nice alignment there. And then we can take these tabs and push them in and get that glued down. You want to make sure that you do get some glue out to the edge. Okay, and then just push that down. And push down on the end there. Hold that down in place just to make sure that it gets a really good hold. And your envelope is done. I usually just put a little pop dot on there or something just to kind of hold it in place, and bam. So your envelope's good to go. Let's take a look at the actual card. Okay, now the card is made up of, this is the main base here, okay? And we can go ahead and put the main base together. Now you'll notice that this piece here, I'm going to go ahead and pop this out a little bit so you can see it better on the camera. You see these little score marks on here. Now you want that towards the bottom of the card. Okay, so you want it like this. You can see the score marks there. Looks kind of like a sad face. You don't want it like this. You want it like this. So the score marks are away from this tab. Okay, so you can go ahead and put our glue on this tab. Again, you want to make sure that you get some glue out to the edge. Keep the tabs towards the bottom and align that and get it into place. And just push that down and make sure that it gets a good hold. Okay. Now, once we have that in place, now this front part here, okay, is made up of these two pieces, and these are inspired from these dies. I had a customer actually call me, said that they loved these certain dies where when you kind of layer them, they give this really cool effect. So you're going to glue this piece to this piece here, like so. And then on the front of the card here, you'll notice that there are a series of little score marks right on the front. And that is to help you align this, okay? So you're just gonna glue that down like so, okay? Okay, so that is what the front of the card is gonna look like. And actually, while we're on the front of the card, let's take a look at the little bow that sits on the front of the card. Okay, now you're going to take this long piece and fold it in half, and then there's another little fold right there. We're just going to put glue on this tab here and glue that down to itself. Okay, just hold that in place while it dries. And you can see my final one from the one that I photographed. I actually ran the entire thing through an embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to center this. I'm going to put glue right on this guy here and put your bow. You want to make sure it's centered and get that glued into place like that. I actually took this whole thing and ran it through an embossing folder. Now for the top layer, we've got these pieces here. So you just want to put a little bit of glue on this middle part here, like that. And then we have these two pieces to kind of give the illusion of a bow. Okay, so you're just going to glue those in the corners there. And then I actually pop dotted this onto the bottom part of the bow like so. Just kind of give it some added dimension. Okay, so kind of like that. And then that's going to slide over your card. Okay, so that is the exterior of the card. Now let's take a look at the interior of the card. And what we're going to do first is put our panels on. Okay, so this panel goes up here. You want to make sure that you get that nice and centered. And this panel goes right here. Okay, and just make sure that you do not cover up the little score marks here. Okay, you want them to kind of be visible. So go ahead and glue these two panels down. Okay, so now before you put the little contraption on, you probably would just kind of start to kind of train this out a little bit, because that's where your cute little note is going to go. So you can stamp on this, or you can write a little note, and then you just kind of slide it in there, and it kind of holds it in place. Okay, and we do have a tiny little heart that you can glue right here. Okay, and then there's also a tiny little heart that gets glued right there, just to kind of give it a little accent. Okay, so you want to get those into place. And now we can begin working on the main contraption, I guess, the actual mechanism on here. Now, so there's 4 of these pieces, and again, just to help you ensure that you get this thing perfect, we did put some score marks on these pieces to help you with the alignment. So look for the 2 pieces that have 2 score marks and then a third one on the right. That's going to be your L and your E. Okay, so put those off like that. And then this one has a score mark here, here, and here. That's your V. So that just leaves the O. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to glue these down like so. Okay, and again, use the little score marks to help you get everything nice and aligned. Okay, and then you've got that little piece there, and then that tiny little heart as an accent, and then your V. Oops. V goes like that. And your E. Okay, so you want to get those glued down. And there is a tiny little red dot that I have here. And you probably want to use your little pick-me-up tool to get that glued right down there. Okay, so you want to get that glued down. Okay, and once you do, which I'm not going to do, you want to go ahead and glue these down onto the main structure, which is this piece here with the 3 sections of score lines. So now before you actually begin gluing these pieces, I do suggest taking and folding everything here on the score marks, just to make sure that you don't have to do it later on when it's glued down, because that's going to make it a little more difficult. And also on this piece, you'll notice that there are also score marks to help you with the placement of these pieces so that you can get them perfectly centered. So once you have your letters on there, go ahead and glue these down into place like so. Okay, and this part will be ready. So we can go ahead and focus on the main mechanism that makes this thing work. Okay, which is this piece here. And what you want to do is go ahead and fold this at the score marks in each direction. Okay, and then you want to do a mountain fold on both sides on these long parts so that it folds in like this, and you kind of almost want to bend it into the shape of like a paper airplane. Okay, and what we're going to do then is take this, and you'll notice on this piece here on that tab, there is a little notch that we cut in there. It's just a single score mark, and that is to help you with the alignment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on either side, it doesn't matter. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure, the biggest thing that you want to do here is just make sure that it's nice and centered. Okay, and that little tip there, make sure that it doesn't go past that score mark. So that looks good to me. I'm going to push that down and hold it in place. Make sure that it gets a good grip, and then we can go ahead and put glue on the other side. Make sure that you get the glue out to the edge there, because it's really important that it holds on the edge. Okay, and then let's take this. Let's move our card out of the way and push that down, and just give this about a minute to really hold. So let's give this about a minute to really set. Okay. You don't want to let it go prematurely here. Okay, so that is what it should do. So now let's go ahead and take this. Okay, I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, and what you want to do at this point is make sure that you've got that center line lined up with the center there. Okay, and also make sure that you have this whole thing centered. Okay, so there's my center line there, and I want to make sure that I keep it centered vertically, because you don't want to glue it flush with the top or flush with the bottom. You want to kind of look to the right here on this side and just make sure that you have pretty much the same amount of space on both sides. Okay, so there's my center line, and that looks good. And what we're going to do is fold this over, and then you're going to put glue in these sections here. Okay, so you want to put glue on the top right, and then also the bottom left, just in that section there. Okay, we can fold that over and push down, fold that over and push down, and this is also really important that you hold this in place. Make sure that it really gets a good grip. So give that just a few seconds to dry, maybe more than a few seconds. Just make sure that it really gets a good hold. And your card is pretty much done. At this point, all we need to do is kind of train this thing a little bit just to make sure that it gets the proper movement. So when your recipient gets it, it pops open for them. Okay, so once that's glued down, you kind of want to grab from the middle, okay, and grab it like that and close it up. Now I kind of use the tape runner on the front here. You want to actually glue that down. I did that to save time. So I hope you guys had fun assembling our really cute Twist Pop card. It's very simple to put together, and it's got that wow factor that your Valentine is going to love. I'm sure you can take this and customize it for more than just Valentine's Day. Say if you were to include just a blank panel on the inside. Obviously this card could be used for so many different things, but I think it makes a perfect little Valentine. So hope you guys had fun. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you next time.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.